Next, what we are going to see is actions. Actions. Let's do this. What we're going to see is actions. Actions. Let's do this. Now, let me talk about actions. What is actions? What are actions? Let me write this down. 1. Actions help divide the test into logical units. Right? Action helps to divide the test into logical units. I will explain what is this. We'll go one at a time. Okay. Then a test consists of calls to one or more actions. 3. By default, a test contains one action. 4. A test can be divided into multiple actions creating new action. Now, what does this mean? Now, here, what is happening? Actions can help divide the test into logical units. What does this mean? Now, let's go back to our script. In this script, what are the logical units that we can divide the script into? What are the logical parts that we can divide the script into? We can divide the script 1 into login. This is the launch portion. Then from here to down is the insert portion. And then I can add a logout. Logout is I wanted to close the window. So how do I close the window? Very simple. I'll just drag and drop this window here. Instead of activate, I will say dot close. Dot close. Now what will happen? Let me just execute this and show you. Automatically, it will close the flight reservation window. You see, flight reservation window is closed. So I can divide this script into 3 logical units, right? 1, launch and login, or let me say login. Launch will be a part of the login. Okay. So I'll say login, insert order, and logout. Can I divide this into 3 logical units?
Yes, Rajesh. Yes.
Can we split this into like this, right?
Yes.
So let's
flight application. Yeah.
What? For the flight reservation. Yes. Let's see how to split this. Now, I have one action where every full script is there. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to create multiple actions. I want to split this into logical actions. So what I'm going to do first, let me save a copy of this. Okay, I don't want to take the original and work on it. So I'll say, I'm going to create a new copy saying actions. Now here what I'm going to do, I have one action here. So I'm going to rename this action. So I'll go to action properties.
Okay.
And I will give the action name as login. Okay. You say, are you sure? Yeah, okay, fine. Now, the action is changed to login. Now, if you see the action properties, you have multiple tabs here. One, it says general, parameter, associate repositories. Associate repository, we have a repository already associated to it. So it is showing you. You can even go to properties and associate the repository. used by who are all using this. Now currently, since it's just not used by anyone, it's not showing you. Now in the general, you can give a description to this action. As well as if you see here, you see this checkbox which says, give me 1 second guys. You see this checkbox which says in reusable actions. Now what do you mean by reusable actions? Now like our object repository, we can also create shared actions. Like our object repository, instead of functions, I will not create functions. I will directly create shared actions. So for the function, what we did, we create a function login. In the function library, we put the whole login script and created a function called login. Right. Now I will associate my action function library in the script, and when I call login, it will automatically launch the application for me. Same way we can use actions also. Okay, same way we can do. But in order for you to share the action, it has to be reusable. This option should be enabled. Otherwise, you cannot use this action in any other script. That is what we call reusable actions. That is what we call reusable action. Okay, so this has to be enabled. By default, this is enabled. By default. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is, I renamed this action. Now I want to create another action and say insert order. How do I create another action? I will go to insert, call to new action. Now there are 3 options here: call to new action, call to copy of action, and call to existing action. We're going to see all the 3 options. First we will see call to new action. Call to new action will allow us to create a new action. Now what is the name of the action we want to give? Insert underscore, don't give space, ORDER. Now again, you can give a description here. Keep this option enabled all the time at the end of the test or at the current step where you want to insert. But nothing to worry. Even if I insert it here and you want it on top of it, if you drag drop here, it will not work. It will not work in the resources. For if you want to change the location of the action, go to view, enable test flow here. Click on the test flow. You will get like this. Here you can move it up. You see? Here you can move it up or down. But if you move it up here and go back to resources, it will not show this. Okay? But whatever is in the test flow is what it gets executed. Now if I click insert order first and then launch, let's see here. I'll go to launch. And I'm going to put a breakpoint here. Okay? I don't want the whole thing to get executed now. Now in the resources it's showing login, insert order, but in the test flow I change it as insert order login. Now let's see. Now I'll go to my insert action, insert order. I'll say MSGBOX. There'll be insert order. Okay, let's run this and see. It will immediately first pop up insert order. You see? So whatever is the order in the test flow is the order in which your script is going to work, not in the resources. Here it will be in the normal order. Whatever order in the test flow that you are keeping is the order in which it's going to work. Now I inserted this order. Now I'm going to copy this portion. Let me take this breakpoint out. I'm going to copy the insert order and I'm going to take it out and put it here in my insert order. If you double click on this, it will not work. Okay. You got to go to this drop down and change it to insert order. Now I'll put it here. Insert order. Now I have put the insert order here. Now I want to create another action. Insert, call to order, call to new action. I will say logout. That's got added. In the logout, I want to put login. I want to put this portion in the logout. This portion in the logout. Now, if you see here, I have created 3 actions. Okay, I have created 3 actions. Now, in these actions, if you expand, you see, for each and every action, a local object repository gets associated to it. So, if you wanted to create multiple actions and use the script, then you have to associate your shared object repository to every action. You see, you have to associate. If you don't associate, that particular action will not work because it will go to the local object repository, see that there is nothing there, and it will fail your script. So you have to associate for each and every action. Now let's run this and see how it works. I'm going to run this. See, first it ran login. Now it's in insert order. Object synchronization. Wait, it generated the order number. Now it is executing the close. Guys, you are able to understand actions? Guys, you are able to understand? This is what is the first step in the actions that we saw. This is the first step. Action can help. Action can help divide the test into logical units. This is what we saw now. A test consists of calls to one act or more action. That means I can call to one or more action. Let's see what you mean by that. Now, a test can call one or more actions. If you see here, I have done, first thing I have done is I have inserted multiple actions. So there are multiple actions being called here. I can also do like this. Instead of creating like this, what I can do is I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. Okay. Oh, why did I close QTP? God. Sorry, guys. Okay. So this is, we are going to call multiple actions. By default, as you saw, this you have seen that. By default, there is one action that is always created when you open a script. A test can be divided into multiple actions by creating new actions. That's what we just did. So we created multiple actions and we put it into logical units, into different logical units. Now, this is what we are going to see now. How do we call to multiple actions? Let's do that now. Should have come up by this time. Yes. Okay. Now I'm creating a new script. Now, imagine I have to create a flight reservation login. I have to create a flight reservation where I have to use the login again. Last class we saw how to create a function library for it. Now, if I have not created a function library, I will go to insert. I will say call to action or call to existing action. There are two things there. Let me clean this up. I can clean this up, right? Okay. Now there are two things in action. Call to copy and call to existing. Now these are two options available if you want to call an external action into your script. This is only for calling an external action. What is call to copy? Call to copy will create a copy of that action for you. Now this becomes editable. This becomes editable. That is, say you have script A, you have script B. Now script A has login, insert order and logout. Now you need login and insert order in script B. So what you are going to do? You can either call to copy or call to existing. Now call to copy, what it will do, it will take this action, do a copy and paste it here. So that means that this whole action, a copy of this action is here. So there is no relation between your B script and your A script. There is no relation. You just took a copy and put it up here. Now once it comes here, you can make whatever changes you want. Call to existing action, what happens? In call to existing actions, when you say call to existing action, same thing will happen. Call this login will come here. Okay. But there is a connection. So what happens? You cannot edit this. This will come in non-editable mode. Non-editable mode. While if he makes any changes, it will get reflected here. You cannot make any changes. These are the two different. Let's see this in practical. Now this is a new script. I want to call to copy. First let's do call to copy. Call to copy of action. Now here. Now it is saying what is the action, where from which test you want. You can use the drop down. I am not very confident with the drop down, so I'll go and select the test I want. Flight reservation is what I wanted. Okay. Now it will list me all the actions under flight reservation. Oh, sorry. Not flight reservation. Flight reservation actions. Now you see here, it is listing me all the actions that are there. Now I want the login. I'll say yeah. Towards the end of the step, whatever you want. Edit new action properties. You want to edit the properties, whatever. Click OK. Now the action properties comes up. You can change the name. See, instead of copy, I'm going to change it as login. It's default reusable. Rest all, just leave it as it is. You see here that action property, or sorry, the object repository of that action also comes here. Okay. Now you see here the object repository that we associated in that script is also brought up, and you see here action 1, run action, login, 1 iteration. This comes up. Now if I go to my login, I can edit it. See, that's in editable mode. You can make changes here. Now you don't want, you can remove of this action. Now only your login remains. Yeah, I have an action, right? Yeah. Okay. Now you have an action here. Next, what we have to do, I can again call, I'm going to call to copy, and this time I'm going to say call to existing action. Now let me remove off this call to copy. Don't need this, delete action. Okay. Now I'm going to say call to existing action. Call to existing action. Same, I'm going to select actions, flight reservation action. Okay. I wanted to insert login. I'll say okay. Now you see, it comes as an external action. You see here a new action is generated saying external action, and that login is here now. Now you see here, this is the login information that's come. Now let's try to edit it. You see, I'm entering, I'm not able to edit it. This is in the non-editable mode. Now if I open the flight reservation action and make some changes, it will automatically get reflected here. Guys, you are able to understand? Tell me, what was the question?
It is so confusing, Rajesh.
What is confusing?
This copy and creating action one. Maybe if we go through the video again.
No need. Don't go through the video. Let me show you again. Okay? If you don't understand, that's why I'm here. Right? Now, you know that default one action gets created.
Yes.
Right? Now, there are two ways to. Now, you understood functions.
Yeah.
The yesterday's class functions.
Yes.
What did we do in functions?
We create our own function, real function.
Correct. So what we did yesterday, we created a login function. Correct?
Yeah.
So you can use, and I put it in a function library. So if you associate your function library with the script, you can use the login. Similarly, if Chitra associates the function library, she can use the same login function.
Yes.
So this becomes a reusable function, correct?
Yeah.
Similar to functions.
Only if we add it to the function library, right?
Yes, only when we add it to the function library. Similar to functions, we have actions. Exactly the same. Okay. Now, your actions, you can do in two ways. You can call a copy or an external action. Okay. Now, when I say call to copy, that means I'm giving you the copy of that file. Say, example, you are asking me to send me a sample resume.
Okay.
Okay. Or you want, say, example, you want the PPT, the material.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm doing, I can give you in two ways. One, I can give you the PPT file itself. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I can give you this quality assurance file. Where is it? Sorry. Let's say, example, this PPT.
Yeah.
So now when I give you this PPT, it becomes editable. It is editable. Right?
Yeah, we have to enable it.
No, yeah, but this is editable. You see, you can make your changes here.
Oh, okay.
Got it? It's your PPT now.
Okay.
If I don't want you to make changes in my PPT, what I will do, I'll send you the PDF file.
Oh, okay.
Now, what is the main purpose of this PPT? For you to read the material.
Go through that, yeah.
Now, if I send you the PDF file, can you make changes in the PDF file?
No.
You cannot make the changes in the PDF file. This non-editable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But who has the original PDF file can make the changes, correct?
Yes, yes.
And then if I tell you to review it, when you re-download it, you can see the original, you can see the updated changes.
Yeah.
Correct? You're getting me the difference.
Yes, yes. Right.
Similarly, coming to the actions, you have two ways to do it. Either you can give him your original file and say take a copy and keep it with you and do whatever you want.
Is it like same as, save as we
Yes, this is like save as. You are allowing him to save a copy and do whatever he wants in his with that.
Yeah.
Or you are sending a read-only file and saying, just read the information. I'm not going to give you the original file.
For editing. Okay.
For editing. Now you decide what you want to give. Right?
Yeah.
You're getting me?
Yes, right.
So that is what I was showing you here. You go insert call to copy. When you do call to copy, that means from the other person's script, you are taking the script for your own and you can do whatever you want with that. You have no relation with that person again.
Oh.
Let's see, I'm doing call to copy. I'm selecting the flight reservation actions. This is the script where I want the action. See, it's showing me all the 3 actions.
Yes.
I selected this, said OK. You see, copy of that action is come here. Now, if I go to the copy, I can make any changes here. I can make any changes I want.
Yeah.
Sure. It's editable. Now, that script and you have no relation. Over. The copy is come to you, you are done with it.
All the changes can be saved in this only, not related to the first
Not
one.
related. Anything that you make changes here is not going to get affected anywhere other than your own script.
Okay.
That is called to copy. Okay. You understood this?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I'm going to delete this and I'm going to say call to external action. Now, what happens here when I select the same thing? Okay. Okay. Now it is saying what you want. I want the login. Now you see here, before under this internal action, another action got created, correct?
External. Okay. Yeah.
Now if I say external action, it will get created under the external actions. You see.
Oh, okay.
You see, it got created under the external action.
Yes, yes.
And it's saying, see from which script I took. Can you see the script name here?
Oh, flight reservation action. So
Action. That is my script name.
Yes, yes.
Now I'm trying to edit here. Nothing is happening. See, I'm not able to edit.
You can. Yeah.
Yeah. Now what I'll do, I'll save this. Okay, I'm going to save this.
Okay.
And I'll just say test 1. Okay, better will delete it.
Mm-hmm.
Now the main reason I saved it, I'm going to go to my original file. Original file. This is my original file.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert just a message box. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm editing the original file, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, I edited the original file, saved it. Now let's open the call to external action file. Let's go to the action.
Long.
See here?
Oh, yes, yes, change. Yeah.
That changes got updated automatically because you still have the relation between the script A and script B.
Okay, so if we take the copy of somebody's action, if they change anything, it reflects on mine too.
No, if you take a copy, it won't reflect.
Oh,
If you take that external action, it will reflect.
Okay, okay.
Understood?
Yeah, got it, right.
Now you understood or you still have a question?
No, I got it.
Rajesh, do we need to have any privilege from the owner of the script for copying?
No privilege is required.
So whatever text we want, we can take a copy.
Yes. So what we usually do, what is usually done is we create one script, okay, where we create all the reusable actions and put it there in the shared drive.
Okay.
Now what you will do, say login. You will not create a call to copy. You will always create a call to external action. Why? If you create a call to copy and tomorrow if the login portion changes,
yeah.
If 10 people are there, 10 people have to go edit the login changes, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But if I change in one script, if I am using external action, if I change in one script, everything will get updated.
Yes. Yeah.
That is why we use that mode.
Okay. So the advantage is with external action.
Yes. Advantages with the external action.
Oh, thank you.
Got it? Any other questions, guys? Monica, you had your hand raised?
No, not now, it was before. Can you explain one more time the associate, how do we associate actions?
Click on the action. Right click. Associate repository with action. You want to associate a repository, right? For that only you are asking.
Yes, but for every action, initially there is a local assigned
Yes.
already.
Yes. So every action that you are inserting, that is if you are creating a new action within the script. Say example, call to new action, right? You are creating a new action now here. For this, you have to associate. If you are calling an external action or call to copy of the action, automatically that repository also comes along with it.
Okay.
You getting me?
Yes. Thank you.
Any other questions, guys? Fine. Now, if you're looking at actions, right? If you're looking at actions, we use actions are very, very less used. We don't use actions much. If I say if you say 100%, I would say 98% they use function library. Function library rather than actions. Okay, because this is more feasible, more easy to use than actions. If the script gets corrupted, all the actions are gone. This is just a file. So possibility of this getting corrupted is much lesser compared to this. So we use functions more than actions. Now, if you look at your actions, let me clean this up and let me go back to the original script. Have you noticed that when I click run, login run once, insert order run once, logout runs once. Have you ever thought why it runs only once? Have you ever guys thought about that? The reason that it runs once is, go to keyword view. Go to keyword view. Change this to test flow. Change it to test flow. Now select an action and right click on this. Right click on the action. Say example login, right clicked on login. You will see action call properties. Click on that. If you see here, run one iteration only. That is the reason the action run once. Run on all rows. Run from row 1. This one is based on this. I will talk about it when we do data table. Now by default it will say run one iteration only. That's why it is running only once. Now I have like this. Okay, I have like this. Can anyone tell me if I have a requirement? Okay, let me go to my expert view. If I have a requirement that my requirement is this. I want my login to run once. I want to insert 3 orders and then log out once. Can anyone tell me how can I accomplish this activity? I want to, when I click run, it should log in once, create 3 orders and log out. Can anyone tell me how to accomplish this? Anyone? That's your homework. Go and think. Whoever does this homework will get 5 points. Whoever does this homework. It is from the day 1 QTP to today. Whatever I have taught you, it's inside this. How do I run this 3 times? I want to run the insert order 3 times. Haji.
Putting it in a loop, Manish. 3 orders.
What loop? What loop?
Like 3 times for loop.
For?
If we want to run it for 3 times, we can make a for loop. The order.
Where do you make
the order?
Insert order?
After login. The statements, the function orders, we can put it inside for loop.
Okay.
Same thing I'm about to say.
Same thing?
Yeah.
I vaguely remember like the nested loop, like where if one condition is completed, then you go back to the same thing and complete 3 times and then move on.
Why you want nested condition here?
I was like, because I remember like you telling us like you go 3.
Here, I have 3 actions, right? Login, I have created an action, correct?
Yeah.
Order, I have created another action. Logout, I have created another action, correct?
Yeah.
Now, I want login to run only once, logout to run 3 times, and order to run 3 times and logout to run 1 time, correct?
Yeah.
So what did Bhushan say? The for loop here, for I equal to 0 to 3. Next, 0 to 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Next, what will happen?
Yeah.
If the script runs, it will come do this login. Since our setting is 1 iteration only, right? So it will do login once.
And then go in. Yeah.
It will do the logout action only once.
Yes.
Okay, but since there is a the order action only once, but since there is a for loop inside, it will do the for 3 times. You're getting me? No, right? No, you're not getting me.
Yes, I'm a little confused. Yeah.
See, what I'm going to do here is login, this one.
Yeah.
Insert order. In my insert order, what I'm going to do, in my insert order, I'm going to put a for loop here. For, I'm going to say, I equal to 1 to 3. Okay. And then what I'll do, I'll copy the whole thing and put it inside the for. So next.
We did this already, right? Creating a new order and selecting the from few flights and then
Creating a new order?
Yeah. We already did that, right? We select.
We did this 3 orders, sir.
Not
No.
exactly 3 orders, but selecting a new order and selecting the date again. It prints the date again and everything. It goes on the loop.
That is what here we are doing it for the whole script, right?
Not for the login. We did that after the login.
I think we did for the multiplication number.
Multiplication, not this.
Yeah,
We didn't do this.
13 table.
Are you watching my other videos?
No.
Okay, so now if you run this, what happens? Login will run once. Now when it comes here, the action will run only once. Okay, but in this action, since I have a for loop, the code inside the for will run 3 times, correct? You want me to show that? Let's run it. Let's run it. See, now it's in login. It's launching the application. Save. Okay, now run. Let's run this. That's order 1. Okay. Sidra?
Yes.
This is order 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, she's still in that action because it's executing the for loop.
Yes.
I made a mistake. Hold on. I made a mistake. What is happening is, let me stop it. When I copied this one, right? Login, I missed one step in the login itself. Login, this flight new, right? This I missed it in the, left it off in the login portion. This should be here in the insert order.
Yeah, that's what Rajesh, I was talking about, that new order.
Oh, okay. You didn't tell it clear, so we couldn't understand what you are saying.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
But what we did was we didn't save the changes. We hit the button no and then go to the new order again. We wrote like that, the function.
Yeah, we didn't save anything, right? Here, order number 160. Okay. Now you see it's still there. Now it's creating the next orders because it's in the for loop, right?
Yeah.
Order. Done. So you created 3 orders.
Yeah.
Now I'll say, now I'm closing I'm logging out.
Log out one.
You're able to get me?
Yes.
Ha.
Rajesh, when each and every action is being inserted, we are pressing OK, right? Whenever the insert order got generated. So we are pressing OK. For that OK also, can we write a script instead of clicking?
Madam, the OK is the pop-up where the message box, right?
Yeah, it's for the script, right? Yes.
If you to write print instead of message box.
Yeah.
Fine guys, are you able to understand this?